to get up and walk again. Oh, but I know of a man who can. Some call him Savior, the Redeemer of all men. I call him Jesus, for he's my dearest friend. Oh, and if you think that no one loves you and that your life is out of hand, but I know a man who can. Yes, I know a man. I know a man who
Coming up next on Gospel Music Today, Ken visits with Les Butler. Welcome back to Gospel Music Today.
We were at the National Quartet Convention. We spoke to Les Butler of Butler Music Group, and that's up next on Gospel Music Today. We are at the National Quartet Convention. With me, Les Butler, and Les, we want to welcome you to Gospel Music Today.
Ken, thanks for having me. It's just Monday, but it's busy, isn't it?
It is. This has become it's always been a very big event, and here in Pigeon Forge, it's grown into even bigger.
Quite the spectacular event, it really is. This is as they say, the granddaddy of them all, and aptly stated.
We want to talk about the Old Time Preachers Quartet, which we've heard so much about. But this is Les Butler's 40th anniversary in broadcasting.
Very blessed, for sure.
Yeah.
I started the first weekend in October, so as of this recording, I'm about a week away from the 40th anniversary, the start of year number 41. And I started in the Southern Gospel Mecca of the United States, Chicago. and was there for several years, then in Florida for several years, and then about half of the 40 years with the Solid Gospel Radio Network. And then the last few years with Les Butler and Friends syndicated radio show. So 40 years, and it has blown by.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the early days too. Your desire was to be a broadcaster, not necessarily in the world of gospel music.
No, not really. I just the first thing that really kind of stoked my interest was I'm a big Chicago Cubs baseball fan. And back in the day on WGN, they broadcast literally every single Chicago Cub baseball game. And so I would come in from school, and they always had day games then. That was before the lights at Wrigley Field. So it would be almost done, but I would get home in time to watch maybe the last 3 innings. So I would turn the volume down on our black and white TV. I had a Sears Kenmore cassette recorder. I'd get like the Hammond Times or the Chicago Tribune. I'd have it there beside me. And so I would call the last few innings and record it on a cassette. And when they went to commercial, I would get an ad from the newspaper and read the newspaper ad. Yeah. Now, this is back in the 60s. I started doing that like when I was 7 years old. And when I was 14, I joined a thing called the Radio Explorer Club in WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. So I, as a 14-year-old, did that for 2 years, and then I was hired when I was 16 to do radio, and it was on a Christian station, and they had me do the news during a 5-hour Southern Gospel radio show. And that man had been the host for years. Well, I did it for 2 weeks, and he retired. And so the ownership came to me after reading the news for 2 weeks on this Southern Gospel radio show and say, we want you to do it. And so I've been doing it for 40 years. Ever since, I haven't stopped. And the good thing about it is I was very familiar with it. My dad was a preacher, grew up in church, and we were members of the Canaan Record Club. So every month the new Canaan record would come to our house, And so I was familiar with the Happy Goodmans and Wendy Bagwell and the Sunlighters and the Lewis family and the Florida Boys, the whole list, inspiration. And so they asked the right guy, I think,
that's right.
to do it. At least I was familiar with it. And boy, I loved it and love it today. And till the Lord calls me home, I will definitely be involved in radio, Southern Gospel radio.
Mm-hmm. We are here at the Quartet Convention in the Butler Music Group booth.
Good to have you, by the way.
We want to thank you very much for having us here. The Old Time Preachers Quartet has probably grown past what you envisioned when you started. Because we talked when you were just getting it going, and you have a new member.
Yeah, Bob Sellers. He was the lead singer for the Kingsmen for several years. Well, he wanted, the Kingsmen, as he stated, to me, they are on the road 225 days a year, and so when you have, wife and kids and all that, wow, God bless them. And so he said, listen, I've got to be at home, more often. So he's a great singer, so he started doing some solo stuff, and that's what he wants to do and will be doing. But, the quartet does about 60 dates a year, and so he'll probably do that on the solo side. And so between the two of us, he'll get to scratch the quartet itch, do about 120 dates, do about half of what he was doing with the Kingsmen, and home more often. Mm-hmm. So honestly, just a perfect scenario.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
And the other members in the quartet would be?
Well, we have Tim Owens singing tenor. We have Adam Borden, who sings multiple slots, lead and baritone, plays bass. And then we have, of course, Bob, and then we have myself playing the piano and singing the baritone. Yeah. So I think I have, Mike Holcomb. Oh, my goodness, Mike Holcomb. Testing, are we on? I thought I said Mike first, it just hit me. 6'4", 94. To me, the greatest bass singer still walking the planet today. And it's amazing that I get to stand next to him 60 days a year after playing his music for 40 years.
Right.
And now I stand next to him and sing. I'm absolutely living a dream. Just very blessed.
He was singing with the Inspirations when
41 years.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, as I recall, if I recall correctly, the second song I ever played on the radio in my life was the Inspirations, When I Wake Up to Sleep No More, which we now have as the Old Time Preachers Quartet. It's number 7 in the Singing News. And I don't think this is going to happen. This isn't false humility, but it could happen. It could be number 1 with us. And it was number 1 with the Inspirations for 7 consecutive months in the Singing News chart. That never, ever happens. And here it is 44 years later with the Old Time Preachers Quartet, and the same man that brought it to America through the Inspirations, sing it with us. Yeah. I'm living in a dream. Pinch me.
That is impressive.
It's crazy.
That is great.
Very blessed. I keep saying it, and I'm. What else can I say?
Blessed, it is always good to see you, and we want to thank you for being with us on Gospel Music Today.
Love you, love Jean. Always watch the show every week. Soon as it hits my inbox, I promote it out to all of our lists. You do great work. Thank you for doing it.
Thanks, Les.
Our friends the Williamsons are the cover story in Singing News magazine this month. The article is called Spreading the Good News, and they are true to that mandate to spread the gospel around the world. It's an honor to know them and to know their heart for the Lord. Group members are Donnie and Lisa Williamson, Darren Abair, Carl Rice, Bo Chester, and my 2 favorite girls, Sadie and Olivia Williamson. You can find a link to Singing News at our website, gospelmusictoday.com.
This is a concert update from Gospel Music Today. Spoken For Quartet will sing at McDonald Memorial Baptist Church in Orange, Texas on April 28 at 6 p.m. You can find all the details at the Gospel Music Today website.
We're at Creekside Gospel Music Convention, and I'm here with Tonja Rose. Welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to see you. Second year here.
Second year here, first year performing.
Okay.
So
we're going to look forward to that this week.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I sing tonight, so.
All dressed up and ready to go.
Yeah, I brought the earrings out and everything.
That's right. Got to do those things.
Absolutely.
Now, I see a new CD here, Me, Jesus, and the Highway.
Yes,
Tell me about that name.
Well, that is one of the songs on the CD, and in April of 2016, my husband, who was 45 years old, had a stroke. And I was in the music business, so I came off the road, and in the meantime, I continued to write. But I found that when I was traveling from home to the hospital, from hospital to work, from work to the hospital, back and forth, the only time I really had any alone time was when I was driving from place to place to place, and that's when I did all my praying, and that's where this song came from. It was just me, Jesus, and the highway during that 6 months to a year of recuperation and therapy for my husband and stuff.
Well, I think that would be good encouragement for people who really only have the highway for their quiet time.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people say, well, I just don't have time to talk to God or to pray. I'm like, you know, you could do that anytime. For me, personally, it's in the car. I just turn the radio off and just block everything out, and that's my time.
Did you write all the songs on the CD?
I wrote all but 3 of them.
Okay.
So, maybe 4. I can't remember.
Okay. What's your favorite song on the CD?
Probably When the Mountain Can't Be Moved, which was the last single.
And why is that?
Because it came from that experience that we had with my husband. And it just talks about, you know, there's going to be mountains that you can't get around, you can't get over. And, you know, God may not necessarily move those mountains, but He's always going to help you find a way to get around it or through it. So that's why.
Well, thank you for being on Gospel Music today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I am going to that city far beyond the sky. I have made my reservation for my home on high. My soul was bought at Calvary by the Father's only Son, and He has my mansion ready when my work is done.
God made a way for me beyond the crystal sea. He's coming back someday. He's gonna take me home to stay. I'll live forevermore beyond the golden shore. Oh, what a wonderful happy day. God made a way. Soon my mansion will be ready. I'll be going home. Never more to be discouraged, never more to roam. And on some happy morning, when the dead in Christ shall rise, and I go to meet my Lord up yonder in the sky. God made a way for me beyond the crystal sea. He's coming back someday. He's gonna take me home to stay. I'll live forevermore beyond the golden shore. Oh, what a wonderful happy day. God made a way. God made a way for me beyond the crystal sea. He's coming back someday. He's gonna take me home to stay. I'll live forevermore beyond the golden shore. Oh, what a wonderful happy day.
God made a way. Marvelous, infinite, beautiful, glorious, wonderful, happy day. God made a way.
God made a way.
Next on Gospel Music today, we'll go to the archives and hear Mark 209. It is now time for the archives.
This is from a couple of years ago. Mark 209 sang at the beautiful guest house at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. We have exclusive video. That's up next on Gospel Music Today.
That's what we're going to do. When we get there, you got to give it all you got as loud as you can, all right? No cheating on me. Now, here we go. It's not a mansion with the big iron gate. It's not a Memphis on a rolling estate. But I'm living in style and I think I'll stay. 'Cause I moved in the day I got saved. I'm